Welcome to our special episode of History Unfolded. I'm your host, and today we're embarking on a fascinating journey back to early modern Europe, a time when war, religion, and diplomacy were deeply intertwined. We'll be focusing on the years between 1648 and 1713, a period marked by significant upheaval and transformation. Joining me is our expert guest, a historian specializing in this era.
It's great to be here. This is such a rich period to explore. We see power dynamics shifting as different regions grapple with the aftermath of religious reformation and political change. The concept of confessionalization plays a central role in this context. Can you explain what that means for our listeners?
Absolutely. Confessionalization refers to the integration of religious identity with state authority, a way for monarchs to bolster their control over religious matters and church politics. Notably, this was particularly pronounced in places like the Holy Roman Empire and France. Instead of ushering in a completely secular international order, religion remained a significant factor in diplomacy.
It's fascinating to think that even after the Peace of Westphalia in 1648, which was supposed to bring an end to conflicts fueled by religious differences, religious identity continued to influence diplomatic relations. Can you delve deeper into how this hybrid perception of international relations worked?
Certainly. Diplomats of that era operated using a complex mix of religious frameworks and power balance calculations. This hybrid worldview meant they viewed conflicts through a confessional lens, while also navigating the pragmatic realities of alliances. Instead of thinking purely in secular terms, they utilized religious rhetoric as another tool in their diplomatic toolbox, whether they were emphasizing trade interests or dynastic allegiances.
That's a brilliant way to put it. It reminds me of how today we often see issues tied to identity politics still influencing international relations. And yet the transition from a purely religious to a more pragmatic diplomacy was not straightforward. You mentioned earlier about the unpredictable nature of confessionalization. What examples can illustrate this?
Great point. The revocation of the Edict of Nantes in 1685 is an excellent example. Intended to reaffirm loyalty to the crown by suppressing Protestantism in France, it ended up magnifying passions and unrest, showing that sovereigns couldn't simply control religious fervor. As we know, these tensions were often exacerbated by the ruler's own ambitions and fears.
And it connects to the 9 Years' War, which we often think of as just a power struggle, but had deep religious undercurrents. A critical question we must consider: did contemporaries genuinely perceive their conflicts through a religious lens?
Indeed, the interpretations are quite illuminating. For instance, Dutch Calvinist ministers were divided in their perceptions. Some promoted a Protestant cause, while others saw the conflict as a punishment for national sins. It highlights a broader division in society regarding the understanding of religious wars. Quite a mixed bag.
That's a thought-provoking observation. It shows that even those most entrenched in religious identity didn't always categorize conflicts strictly along religious lines. For instance, the pamphleteers and diplomats at the time had very different views. While some saw ongoing wars as purely religious struggles, others denounced that conception entirely.
And on the other side, we see diplomatic negotiations that remained pragmatic, blending apocalyptic fears with statecraft. When it comes to major figures like William III, he had to navigate this intricate web carefully, right?
Absolutely. William III stepped into this role during a time when fears of a Catholic conspiracy loomed large. Many Protestant elites believed that Catholic rulers were collaborating to systematically suppress Protestantism, a kind of confessional domino effect. Keeping Protestants unified against this perceived threat was crucial for him.
The narrative really acted as a way to unify and rally forces together, didn't it? Just like any good story, this conspiracy theory about a coordinated attack on Protestants brought coherence to the turmoil of the time.
Exactly. It provided a sense of urgency and justification for religious and military endeavors. For example, William III's invasion of England in 1688 can be viewed through this lens. His justification emphasized the need to protect Protestantism against Louis XIV's actions, showcasing how intertwined religious rhetoric was within state policy.
I imagine that historians still debate whether these motives were genuine concerns or strategic propaganda. What do you think?
That debate is ongoing. Some scholars argue that the phrase "for religion and liberty" genuinely reflects the expedition's motives, while others see it as a clever propaganda tactic. However, a nuanced perspective may suggest that the line between actual concern and politics was actually quite blurry.
And isn't that a timeless issue? One can look at modern politics and see similar mixing of genuine beliefs and strategic calculations. It raises interesting questions about how we interpret diplomatic actions today.
Yes, exactly. And don't forget about the personal experiences of diplomats, especially those who had to balance their duties in Catholic courts during this time. Take William Godolphin, for instance. His story shows how individual diplomats navigated their roles amid religious scrutiny and national politics.
What a complex position to be in. Godolphin was significant for enabling communication between the English court and the Spanish monarchy, right? His efforts to protect English Catholics while maintaining diplomatic credibility are noteworthy.
Certainly, he really had to walk a tightrope, balancing personal beliefs, state interests, and the pressure from Parliament, which often scrutinized his loyalty to Protestant values. It's a captivating case study of how religion and diplomacy were inextricably linked.
As we see, the early modern period offers rich insights into the complex tapestry of international relations defined by confessional identities and shifting alliances. Between religious narratives and personal stories, the legacy of this era still resonates today.
Well said. As we wrap up, let's reiterate that the themes of confessionalization and pragmatic diplomacy helped shape not just the course of wars, but the very fabric of European identity. The interplay of religion and statecraft shows us how powerful narratives can mobilize support and transform societies.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through early modern Europe. Whether it's the 9 Years' War or individual diplomat struggles, understanding these historical complexities enriches our perspective on today's global conflicts. Until next time.